We now come to item 18/item 20, the monthly local board services report for June 2016. Thank you, Mr. D and Ms. Scoville. Sorry, Chris and Hayley.
Members, Hayley will introduce. He's done way the most of the work for this report. I'm only a bit player on this one.
Okay, very good. Hayley.
The bulk of the monthly report is about ratification of submissions that have already been sent in. Member Cohen sent in a slight modification to the feedback on the housing for older people partnering proposal, which I've already spoken to the team and they're happy to include. Just a minor wording change. The main item for discussion and approval is the partnership fund for the Movies and Parks event. I have a little bit more information to provide on this. So in terms of pre-entertainment options, the estimate for cost is $3,500, which includes a $500 contingency fund. And with that you get, should I include?
I don't think it's necessary. I think
Okay.
we've come across this before. Members, let's just be clear, it's in the Chair's recommendations for completeness for discussion. I'm not wedded to it either way, but it's there for discussion.
Yeah. So if the board chooses to allocate money for one or two movies, I would suggest including that $3,500 contingency in for both movie options.
Okay.
And
anything further?
yeah. Nope, just questions.
So just to pick up that comment that Member Cohen's alteration has been recognised, I've just changed D slightly so it says ratify the amended feedback submitted on the Housing for Older People partnering proposal, just to recognise that. Question from Member O'Connor.
Just a little bit disappointed in the submission that we put in, bearing in mind that we're getting a lot of feedback. The word has got round all the pensioner housing that they're going on the market, they're going to be shifted to South Auckland. And I was going to actually email iReview to find out why we've got, that I know of, I've heard of 14 empty units. 14 empty, one pack of units have been emptied for 3 years, and another up at, that's down Devonport Way, another up in Milford have been empty for, I don't know how many years, 7 have been empty up there in Gordon Avenue, and these are sort of things that we're not actually getting. I would have thought now we could be getting some sort of feedback on that pensioner housing, because we are interested, it's our community, and I'm getting emails from pensioners, I'm getting phone calls from pensioners, and they don't quite know where they stand, and I have to say, well, it's a policy that's going to be dealt with after the elections, I would say, by the governing body, and it's nothing much we can do except that we've put in a... Thank you for the submission.
So Member O'Connor, can I just ask what the question is?
I felt we could have been a little bit stronger, and the way that when I was there with Diane and Mike and Grant, I felt that we felt quite strongly about it, keeping it within the community. But anyway, thank you.
Right. So just to clarify, when I say questions, that is not a question. Member Cohen.
Yes, just in regards to the movies, can you clarify that if we do accept the one movie, what dates are the dates that we have available in Devonport?
So through the chair, if the board chooses to have only one movie, the lineup is the 9th of January in Woodall Park.
Okay, and can I just perhaps give some insight into that? I did send an email back to Hayley that was never going to work, because if you ever want to go on Lake Road, at least in the first fortnight of January is ideal. We don't actually have a traffic problem.
Sorry, wait, just what I didn't realise when you said can I just, I didn't realise you weren't asking a supplementary question.
Well, no, I'm responding back to the...
There wasn't a question asked back. That was just a statement as to when the date was. So, would you like to either speak to the motion or
why there's a problem with the dates?
You can when we put the resolution.
No, it's too late then, because I'm responding back to where the position is of the Devonport Peninsula Trust, which is the one we're co-partnering.
I understand
so
that.
that is
but
actually critical
that's something
information.
yes, that's critical information for the purposes of the debate. So if
No,
you
it's
introduce
not
that.
in question the debate. It's in question to have insight as to what's actually occurring
Yeah,
here.
Member Cohen, that's exactly why before we cast our votes, you can have that, you can enter that into the debate, and then that will possibly lead to members saying that therefore we shouldn't be proceeding with the Devonport option.
But the dates aren't in the report.
Yes, I appreciate that. That was the answer that was provided to you.
And so that
Member
would have
Cohen, Member Cohen.
No, just-
the issue is whether you can provide a comment that isn't for the intention of seeking an answer, which is what a question is, or whether you can speak to the motion. Those are the two rights by which you can speak, unless we can allow you to assist us in redrafting the resolutions for the purposes of us getting the right words up for the resolutions. But I don't see this falling into any of those categories. So do you want to speak to the motion, in which case you can tell us why the 9th of January might not be appropriate, or are you suggesting some kind of amendment be put forward?
I can reassure you that Devonport won't partner you in January because Maria is not even there in January.
Okay, very good. So that's useful for the debate.
Right, and so therefore, as per the email that I was asked to send back, was that it's a complete waste of time. If we're contemplating doing movies, partnering with the Devonport Peninsula Trust, it can only be once the schools go back from about middle February through to end of March. And that's,
okay. But Member Cohen, now you are attempting to address the substantive aspects of this. I appreciate what you're saying. I saw the email, I saw the response, I saw why the dates are what they are, and why, unfortunately, because we were pursuing other options.
And I rechecked with Maria today just to make sure.
Member Cohen, yes. I'm going to count this as your speaking turn if you
I'm
persist.
not speaking.
Then you're a superb ventriloquist, Deputy Chair Gillen. You're an absolutely superb ventriloquist, because someone is speaking and it's coming from... Okay, right, sorry. Member Cohen. Member Cohen, I appreciate that you want to add something to the consideration of this item. Yes. The opportunity to do that is through your speaking turn. So if you wish to speak on this point and address this for the board, I think it is useful information, but it constitutes your speaking turn. So you can decide whether you want to proceed on that basis.
Well, I'll allow further questions to be, and perhaps people will...
Okay, ask your questions first, and then, yes.
So Hayley, and I did see the email, but I can't remember the whole extent. The rationale behind only being available early January, was it just that the whole movies and parks things is booked up beyond that, or and it's booked right through till the end of March, is it?
We need a verbal response.
So through the chair, so yes, most of the dates are gone, and my understanding is that there's 3 dates left. So there's 7th January, 14th January, and a possible 10th February are the only options the board has right now. So it's just because of the time frame.
So just supplementary to that, given that it is school holidays and depending on the movie, obviously they're targeting, I assume, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. Has another night been considered, but because it is school holidays?
Through the chair, so I can only speak to what the events team has told me, and they've told me that these are the dates that are available. So I think that the movies and parks have allocated certain dates, and they're not really picking things outside of that. But I can double check with the events team if you'd like me to. I'd emphasize that this discussion is about picking whether you want to have 1 or 2 movies, and I can always go away and speak to them further about what dates you guys want. But there are very few options left.
And so just to clarify, the 10th of February maybe or is?
Through the chair, according to an email I received earlier this week, the 10th of February looks like it is available now. It wasn't previously.
Is available.
So can I suggest as a way forward that the resolutions which I'm going to move now, which have already been moved, in fact, which I'm about to move now, I'm going to amend it so that it's got that point that I identified earlier. The D says ratify the amended feedback, and I'm going to say E, allocate at the end, and agree to the amount for pre-movie entertainment options, subject to confirming an appropriate date with the portfolio holder and community partners, community stakeholders. Does that adequately highlight the concern? I think what I'll do is the same wording also for F. And I'm going to move A through F if I have a seconder.
Can I ask, Mr. Chair, are you suggesting that F relates to a second move?
Yes, sorry, for a second movie, sorry, I do need, thank you for pointing that out, for a second movie and park event for the Takapuna Summer Festival in the 2016-2017 financial year. So that's with that proviso. So I'm moving A through F. If I can only get a seconder for A through E, I will drop F. Yeah.
Can I just ask a question, there's the difference in the prices that we may have to go over, I know we talked about.
So there's a regional subsidy attached to the first movie, but not to the second movie. Yes. There's a question from Mr. Perry of me, I assume.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I noticed that both E and F make reference to agree to an amount of funding for pre-movie entertainment options. I suspect we would need a figure, or are we delegating to portfolio holders decision-making over that amount?
So through the chair, at the last portfolio meeting, the events portfolio holder was asked me to go away and speak to Maria Teep about what options she thought were appropriate for a movie and park in Devonport. She responded back, and I have the amount of funding from her that I've then confirmed with the events team as being appropriate.
So could you give us an idea of how much that is, or what the envelope is?
Yep, $3,500.
$3,500. Members, are you comfortable to approve a level up to that amount, or do you want to set a lower level? No. Mr. Perry?
Sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, is that for both events?
No.
Or so F would be a different figure?
No, see, I'm actually going to suggest that for F, sorry, I'm going to suggest that we delete the and agree to an amount for pre-movie entertainment options, because it only makes sense if it's part of the summer festival.
So that's really a pain, so if we are looking at the 10th of February, if that's appropriate for the first movie. When is the Takapuna Summer Festival, and will that work? Because I'm hearing there's so many limited days that there may not be a day for that. I don't know what date that is.
So that is exactly why I've got the subject to confirmation. Have you contacted the organisers, Hayley?
Yes, through the chair. The available dates don't work with Takapuna Summer Festival.
Right, sorry, my apologies. Let's delete F altogether. Sorry, I thought that the 14th was going to work, but okay, delete that.
Okay.
Right, so A through E, moved by me. Do I have a seconder? Further question? Seconded by Member Rowe, and then,
In regard to E,
sorry, just your speaker box, please.
not just the date, but an appropriate movie, because having talked with Maria
Okay.
on it, they're looking for a particular age grouping, and if
Yep.
it's only a children's one, it may not be something they actually want to be involved in.
Date and movie choice, but I think, yeah, a sensible suggestion. We can leave it over to the portfolio holders. Holders? Yes, holders, and then community stakeholders. Right, so I think it's Member Rowe and Member Cohen. No, it will be events.
Instead of community stakeholders, because that leaves it a bit open, I mean, the party you're talking to is the Devonport Peninsula Trust, which
Okay.
is better to actually say it.
Holders and the Devonport Peninsula Trust. Very good. Right, so it's been moved and seconded. All those in favour? Aye. Contrary? Carried. Thank you very much, Chris and Hayley.